Srivasadi Gauri Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpatarupascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Param Pavani Dasi from Baltimore, Maryland, welcoming all of you to the Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank you, all of you, for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or the scripture in pursuance to the Vedic versions. Fifth, to consider the glories of the chanting of Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Eighth, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Ninth, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let's move to our next session, which is the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this morning? Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण पवन पावनी माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, dear Preeti Mataji. Thank you for joining every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Param Pavani Shama Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. All Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for providing me the opportunity of this Seva, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Parampavani Mataji, Dandvat Pranam to you and all the devotees, all wish to Prabhupada, all wish to Guru Maharaj, all wish to Ashrama devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, dear Mahini Lakshmi Mataji. Welcome to the call. Thank you for joining every day, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Param Pavani Shyama Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you so much Mataji for your wonderful services. This is Sundarangi Radha Devidasi from Canada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Sundarangi Radha Mataji. Thank you so much for all your Glorious services, dear Mataji. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please unmute yourself and let me give me the opportunity to welcome you.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Param Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Vidasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for your warm welcoming.
Thank you first. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear.
Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta.
Hare Krishna, dear Mataji. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to serve you and welcome you, dear Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pavan Pavani, Syama Mataji, August, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your association, Mataji, for every day. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Has Prabhuji joined, Mataji?
Not yet, Mataji.
Okay. Let's Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today our speaker is His Grace Sundarananda Prabhuji. Before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I request Her Grace Priti Vilasini Mataji for provide a introduction for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. And I'm very, very honored to be given this opportunity to introduce our speaker today. Our speaker today is His Grace Sundarananda Prabhu, who's a disciple of His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. He's been practicing Krishna consciousness since 2004 with the guidance of his mentor, Prema Tarangini Mataji. He received initiation from His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj back in 2014. He works as an IT architect for his profession, and he's currently a part of Baltimore Temple congregation, where he practices Krishna consciousness with his supporting wife, Rohini Prema Mataji, a disciple of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj, and two graceful children, Jayant and Satya, both of whom are a part of the Baltimore Kirtaniya group. Sundarananda Prabhu assists in distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. He is known as the great book distributor. He likes reading Srila Prabhupada's books, hearing spiritual topics in Krishna consciousness, discussing spiritual topics with other devotees. He is a regular attendee and speaker of the classes in Bhakti Sangha Japa conference, and he inspires all the devotees with his very, very compassionate demeanor and intriguing insights in spiritual topics. He has also served as the key organizer of the Srimad Bhagavatam summary series sessions, which were conducted in the evening in Bhakti Sangha, and he also lectures in various other forums. We are very honored to have his association and looking forward to the class today. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, dear Mataji, for providing us a very blissful introduction of our today's speaker, His Grace Sundarananda Prabhuji, who gonna enlighten us with the Srimad Bhagavatam topic, Canto 7, Chapter 15, verse 29. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Over to you, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Thank you so much, Parampur Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prithviraj Master Mataji, for your kindness in introducing Hare Krishna. So we'll also start with brief prayers and then we read the sloka and Srila Prabhupada translation purport, and then we'll discuss. Yeah. So, my obeisance to all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kupasandu bhevacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Please bless me and pray that we can discuss something that is beneficial to all of us in this Srimad Bhagavatam discussion for next 1 hour or so. Brief prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chekshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you so much to Vinita Gandhari Mataji for giving me this opportunity to study Srimad Bhagavatam, to read Srimad Bhagavatam, and to share something with all of you, so that way I can get to your association also. So I hope to speak for some time and then pause for reflections from you, something you observed from today's class, something that touched you, and some other aspects, because this topic will be having so many angles of vision we can look at. We can keep on talking for this topic. So it will be nice to hear from all of you also, something in the same direction I'm speaking, or something that you see a different angle that will help all of us also to appreciate this particular verse and verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So please be ready to share your understandings, your realizations, your experience with us, all of us. So let me start. Let me see. I can share. Yeah, I can share. Okay, perfect. Let me share the verse so we can read and discuss. Okay. So we are in 7th canto, 15th chapter, text number 29. The sloka goes like this. Yatha vartadayo hi artha yogasyardam na bibrati anardhaya bhave yusma putam ishtam tada sataha. Word for word meanings. Yatha, as, vartadaya, activities like occupational or professional duties. He, certainly, artha, income from such occupational duties. Yogasya, of mystic power for self-realization. Artham, benefit. Na, not. Vibrati, help. Anardaya, without value, binding one to repeated birth and death. Bhaveyuhu, they are. Sma, at all times. Purtam Ishtam, ritualistic Vedic ceremonies. Tata, similarly. Asataha, of a materialistic non-devotee. Translation purport by Sri Prabhupada. I don't know if somebody would like to read the translation and purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I read, Prabhu?
Please go ahead, Mata.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. As professional activities, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As professional activities or business, profits cannot help one in spiritual advancement, but are a source of material entanglement. The Vedic ritualistic ceremonies cannot help anyone who is not a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. If one becomes very rich through his professional activities, through trade or through agriculture, this does not mean that he is spiritually advanced. To be spiritually advanced is different from being materially rich. Although the purpose of life is to become spiritually rich, unfortunate men, misguided as they are always engaged in trying to become materially rich. Such material engagements, however, do not help one in the actual fulfillment of the human mission. On the contrary, material engagements lead one to be attracted to many unnecessary necessities, which are accompanied by the risk that one may be born in a degraded condition. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.18, Urdhvam gachanti sattvasta madhye tishtanti rajasa jagahanya guna sta adho gachanti tamasaha. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. Especially in this Kali Yuga, material advancement means degradation and attraction to many unwanted necessities that create a low mentality. Therefore, Jagahanya Guna Briti Sta. Since people are contaminated by the lower qualities, they will lead their next lives either as animals or in other degraded forms of life. Making a show of religion without Krishna consciousness may make one popular in the estimation of unintelligent men, but factually, such a materialistic display of spiritual advancement does not help one at all. It will not prevent one from missing the goal of life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mataji, for reading. So we'll focus on a couple of aspects from this purport. One is this aspect, how material engagements do not help one in the actual fulfillment of the human mission. That is one aspect. And the other aspect is how making a show of religion without Krishna consciousness may make one popular in the estimation of an intelligent man, but factually such a materialistic display of spiritual advancement, basically making a show of religion, does not help one at all. It will not prevent one from missing the goal of life like that. So those are two aspects we'll touch on. So I wanted to request if while I'm sharing this, and this topic can be covered in many angles, so I chose this angle. So let me share my presentation, and if something doesn't make sense to you during the presentation, if something is not clear for you, you can please pause me, and then I can clarify right then and there also. And then, of course, we can discuss at the end of the class your relations, your understanding from this session also. Yeah. So we'll go there. Let me keep the timer also for me. Let me see time. Okay. Okay. So overall, it's important when discussing Srimad Bhagavatam to remember the overall context of the Srimad Bhagavatam, overall purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are, what is happening, and that when we keep that clearly, then it helps us to appreciate Srimad Bhagavatam very well. So that's why I usually start with the context. So we know Srimad Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. In Padma Purana, there's a verse that describes how different cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are like different limbs of Lord Sri Krishna himself. That's why we all know that Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna himself. So you're all studying regularly by attending Bhagavatam. So you're going all the way from Lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Currently, you reached up to the arms of the Supreme Lord. Canto 6 and Canto 7 are considered, 7 and 8 here, right? 7 and 8 are considered the arms of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So you're in the 7th canto now. So that's a meditation that we are associating with Krishna directly through this study of Srimad Bhagavatam. There's one aspect I want to share. Going further, this is another chart from Subhavilas Govindra Prabhu. So he we know from second canto, 10th chapter, first verse, there are 10 topics that are covered in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the 10 topics are described here in the chart in the left hand side here. Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, Manvantara, Ishanukrata, Ashraya, Mukti, Nirodha. So each of the cantos Jiva Goswami describes covers all or most of these topics. However, there is a special emphasis on some of these topics in each canto like that. So this chart is depicting how there is a special emphasis on topic of Uti or inclination in the canto number 7. Yeah. So it's also inclination is indicated here adjective for creation in terms of activities like that. Yeah. So that's another aspect. So seventh canto, we are in the actually last chapter of the entire canto, seventh canto. So you're getting to the end basically. So in the seventh canto can be described in two different ways. One is in the first 10 chapters of the seventh canto, what we heard was the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj primarily, which is describing the auspicious inclination of Prahlad Maharaj and inauspicious inclinations of Hiranyakashipu. So what does this mean? This means all of us has some tendencies to engage in auspicious pious activities, a tendency to engage in inauspicious activities or impious activities. So we saw with the example of how Hiranyakashipu with the impurities like greed, lust, and all those impurities, he engaged in impious activities. And at the same time, we saw how Prahlad Maharaj, because of the mercy of Narada Muni, while he was in the womb of his mother, while Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, he got auspicious inclinations. He heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Narada Muni. And then he engaged in pious activities, not just ordinary pious activities, but pure devotional service itself. So that's the example we saw in the first part of this canto. So now, like we know, 7th canto has 15 chapters, right? First 10 chapters, we discussed about Shuddha Bhakti. This is another way of categorizing the whole canto. Shuddha Bhakti, that's a pure devotion of Prahlad Maharaj. And then now 11th to 15th chapter, we are discussing about mixed devotion. Mixed devotion in the sense that somebody who's not yet situated in pure devotional service, pure devotion directly, they may be practicing pure devotional service. Bhakti can be pure, but they may not be practicing with the same level of inclination of a pure devotee like that. So that is a Mishra Bhakti. Generally, Mishra Bhakti is referred to as some mixture of karma and gnana is there in the bhakti practice like that. That is what is referred as Mishra Bhakti. And overall, if you remember, this first chapter itself started with Narada Muni and the conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj in the Rajasuya sacrifice, where he was started to explain how come Shishupala got liberation like that. And then that led to the one after another discussion of the whole Narasimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj pastimes. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked the question, oh, this is wonderful. Prahlad Maharaj is in pure devotion and he achieved the perfection of life. Now, can you please tell me more about Sanatana Dharma, more about Varnashrama Dharma, please? Like that he asked the question in the beginning of the 11th chapter of this canto. That's when Narada Muni describes, I think I don't have that slide. Okay. That's when Narada Muni describes how pure devotional service, what happens in pure devotional service, how to do pure devotional service, like that he describes. And then right after that, he starts to describe different varnas, that means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, what are their qualities, what are their prescribed duties, what are their emergency duties, like that. And then next he describes different ashramas. Ashramas are spiritual orders like Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. So these 4 orders he describes. And then towards the end of the last chapter now, he's describing, he described in the beginning different gradations of Brahmanas, And then he starts to describe the different anarthas that will be obstacles for us in part of practicing bhakti or growing up in our consciousness like that. And then he describes the importance of Guru that you probably heard in the last few days, importance of Guru. And then he finally came to the topic of how rituals without meaning, without purpose, without devotion do not help us to achieve the goal of life. That is the overall context how we came here. Yeah. So I will again share my screen so we can go through. Okay, so now we'll go to the today's verse. Yeah. Today's verse, as I described, these are the two main themes of the verse that Prabhupada is highlighting for us in the purport. Acharyas put the emphasis on what is the main thing we should get in from verse. That is why Acharyas have a great role to tell us what exactly we need to get from the verse. So they put the light on the verse so we can understand the meaning properly. 1 minute. So the two themes are economic development without bhakti. So the keyword is without bhakti, okay, leads to suffering. So whenever we hear any sessions, we need to pay attention to the overall theme and overall intention and essence also. Yeah. So otherwise somebody will think, oh, we are against economic development. No, we're not against economic development. Economic development without bhakti is what is the cause for suffering. Prabhupada is writing the purport for us. In fact, Prabhupada dedicated 90% of the purport for this principle for us too, so that we get it properly, clearly. No doubts we have. Then the second thing Prabhupada talks about in the purport toward the end is how we would perform rituals, even Vedic rituals, Vedic ceremonies even. But if you don't have any devotion, then they do not help one in achieving the goal of life. Again, the essence and the key theme is important. The essence is not that, oh, rituals don't help. Let us say, I don't have devotion, so that means I should not do chanting, I should not do hearing. That's not what they're saying. What is being said is, they do not help in achieving the ultimate goal of life, the mission of a life we have. So we need to combine the rituals along with devotions, not the taken the wrong way that, oh, because it will not help, I will not do rituals. Like that, not like that. Rituals along with devotion we need to do so that we can achieve the goal of life. Yeah, the two themes. We'll discuss one after another. I purposefully thought we'll spend less time on the first theme and then a little bit more time on the second theme. Yeah. But when the discussion time comes, if you want to explore more in any of the topics I touch quickly, please feel free to touch so we can discuss more. Yeah. So going to the first theme now. So if you notice, the overall theme for the whole sloka, I put it like this. Only devotional service leads to true success in our life. That is the overall theme. Under that, there are two sub-themes we will discuss. Yeah. So now, so Prabhupada is giving us first principle. How, if I'm only thinking about money, I want to become materially rich this way, that way, that way. How do you become materially rich? One way everybody knows about is making more money. Another way is getting bigger position in life, office work or family or society, like that, bigger positions. Or another way is trying to become famous, trying to get more followers, like that. So these are all different ways of trying to become materially rich. So Prabhupada writes in the beginning of the purport itself, how material rich is not same, not equal to spiritual advancement. That is very important for us to understand. Why is that important to understand? Because whenever we want to achieve any goal in life, whether material goal or spiritual goal, we need to clearly understand what is my goal first. And then we need to clearly understand what is supporting that goal and what is not supporting that goal. In other words, what is favorable for that goal and what is unfavorable to that goal. Why is that important? That way, we can be very careful to proceed on achieving our goal without getting distracted by unfavorable things that are not related to the goal. So that is way, and we focus on where is focus is needed on what is favorable to bhakti. By the way, today I'm not going to tell something brand new that most of you don't know. So most of the things you know only. We're just appreciating the purport points Prabhupada is giving. So that way, hopefully it gets into our heart so we can apply in our life. Anytime when you hear any class, we're meant to do three things at a minimum. One is hear the class with attention so that maybe Krishna will inspire us with something that will help us in growing in bhakti. There may be not be anything new in the topic for you, but still Krishna might inspire something in your heart that will help you to grow in bhakti. Number one. Number two, after the class, think about what did I hear? What is the main point that touched me? What is the important thing I appreciated in this purport that will help me in my growing in my relationship with Krishna? That is the second thing to recollect and consider, contemplate again. The third important aspect is, now out of the things that touch me, what can I apply in my life? How can I apply in my life? Do I have any doubt in applying my life? That is the third aspect we need to consider. Yeah. So continuing further. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, material engagements do not help in fulfillment of human mission. Most of us know, I'm assuming all of us know, that what is the fulfillment, what is the human mission? Human mission is to engage in our relationship with Krishna, to understand our relationship with Krishna, to awaken our relationship with Krishna, so we can engage in pure devotion service to Krishna, ultimately at the level of Krishna Prema. So that is the human mission. We are not meant to just make sure my office work is getting done on time. We're not meant to make sure that I'm 100% healthy. We're not just see the word just or only. We're not meant to only take care of the family. That is not our goal of life. Or we're not just to help everybody in need in society. That is not the only goal of life. Okay, not the only goal of life. They are all helpful and important also to do as responsibilities and duties to our family, society, and our office, like that. But they are not the goal of life. They're all part of functioning in this world. But our goal of life is to develop our relationship with Krishna. So that is what he's saying. So that means if I'm only thinking about how to get more money, how to become successful, how to become famous, how to take care of family, how to take care of poor people, then that is not helping in the fulfillment of human mission. So it should be accompanied with spiritual practice and spiritual endeavor and seeking mercy of Krishna. That way we can achieve the goal of life. Now, Prabhupada writes another point. Material engagements lead one to be attracted to unnecessary necessities, Prabhupada writes in the word purport. This caught my attention. So I thought this is very helpful for all of us practicing devotees to look at the principles that are described by Rupa Goswami in another literature called Upadeshamrita, which is translated by our Srila Prabhupada as Nectar of Instruction. Yeah. So in that verse, I believe this is the second verse. The verse goes like Atyahara, Prayasascha, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, Janasangal, Laulyamcha. So Shadvir Bhaktir Vinashriti is described. Vinashriti means destroys Bhakti. Yeah. So these are the 6 things that will destroy Bhakti is described. Yeah. So this verse itself can be discussed for a long time. So I'll touch on the few aspects of it. So I thought we can touch on these unnecessary necessities in different ways. But this one way I thought is easy, is aligning with our acharyas also. What does it mean by unnecessary necessities, first of all? That means, first of all, we need to recognize that what is necessity for me may not be necessity for my wife. What is my necessity for me may not be necessary for my son. What is necessary for me may not be necessary for another devotee. That is an important principle to understand in our practice of devotional life. Because what is needs versus what is wants will change as we grow in bhakti. For example, I think this much is my needs currently, but as I grow in bhakti, what I think is needs, I'll realize they are wants, they are not needs like that. So the scale will slide as we grow in bhakti, in a good way only. So that is an important principle to learn, that each of us has a different need, number one, and even ourselves, our needs will change based on our practice and growth in bhakti also. So, but what is then unnecessary necessities then? Unnecessary means things that are not helping, things that are not favorable for our practice of bhakti, for our growing in relationship with Krishna. Those are unnecessary necessities. So anything that is distracting us, anything that is robbing away time from us from bhakti, anything that is robbing away energy from us from bhakti is not suitable for bhakti like that. So somebody may say, oh my God, how can that be? I cannot chant 24 hours a day. I cannot do devotional service 24 hours a day. I need to take care of my family. I need to take care of my body. All these things, how do you see them? That is a consciousness we practice in devotees develop on how to take care of all those activities in life that are necessary and important to survive in life, that are necessary to practice bhakti, with the consciousness of uh, how they are supporting bhakti, how they are pleasing to Krishna. So when we connect them to bhakti somehow, then they all can also be bhakti also. Generally, there are three kinds of bhakti, activities we can categorize as whatever we're doing in our life. One is direct devotion service activities. That means like you all did now, chanting 16 rounds or more, whatever rounds you do, chanting rounds, or directly doing deity worship, hearing Krishna Katha. These are all direct devotional activities. So that is one category. Second category is activities that come in service to Krishna. So you do some preaching work for service to Krishna, to help others come to closer to Krishna, for example, or to assist somebody else who is preaching like that. That is the second category of activities. They are also suitable for devotional service. Third category activities are the basic functional necessities of life. For example, we all need to take care of health. That is a top priority, even before sadhana, even before service. So taking care of a body, mind is an important thing. Why is important? Because if I'm not healthy, then I cannot do bhakti also. So that is another principle. So that means that activity is suitable for bhakti, is favorable for bhakti. So I place emphasis on taking care of my health. That means I take care of proper diet. That means healthy diet. And then that means I make enough time, proper time, and enough time to rest properly, get a quality sleep, for example. And then I need to make time for movement in life. That means some exercise in yoga, whether it's be yoga, whether it's be walking, whatever that happens to be for you. So that is important to keep health properly, physical health properly. And then emotional health also is important. For that, we need to learn something regularly new, and then we need to engage in relationships so that we can share our heart, and then we can listen to somebody and we can develop relationships. These are all important aspects also to practice bhakti. And then it's important to go to office and do quality work while we are there at the office, so that way uh, we are not only producing the right result, so that we are taken care of in terms of getting the continued paycheck regularly. Not only that, but also we show as example to others. Wow, this guy does such nice work. I wonder what he does. Then they will sometimes it may give opportunity for people to ask, by looking at your quality of the work, by looking at your attitude while doing the work, by looking at your relationships during the with work other people, by seeing how we encourage others, how we appreciate others' contributions in work also, by seeing our qualities, they will slowly develop appreciation for bhakti or devotional service, and slowly they will develop appreciation for Krishna. So, in fact, when they appreciate us, the appreciation we should give it to Krishna and bhakti. Then when we do like that, then they're getting benefited even though they're not chanting, even though they're not hearing. So like that, we have great opportunity to perform the third category of activities we talked about, direct devotional activities activities that are like service to Krishna, helping, like preaching. And the third activities are functional activities that we need to do in life, how to do them in Krishna consciousness. When we learn these things, then we will eliminate unnecessary endeavors or unnecessary necessities like that. Now, let me share the screen so we can go back to Rupa Goswami, what he talked about in the Nectar of Instruction, text number 2. Yeah. So I'll briefly touch on them. Atyahara. Atyahara means collecting too much, either money or either the things like that. So for example, in this context, luxury items that are beyond what is required for simple living and high thinking. So collecting those things, collecting too many things that we may not require also. So that is the aspect of Atyahara. Because when you're doing this, you are losing time that you can use for Krishna consciousness. You're losing energy. You're losing enthusiasm that you want to use for Krishna consciousness. Same thing, prayasa. Prayasa means over endeavor for material things. Over endeavor for material things, like with the consciousness of, oh, if I get more money, I can be happy. If I get more stuff, I'll be happy. With that consciousness, we try to endeavor more and more and more and more like that. So it's not wrong to do office work. It's not wrong to work for a promotion if that is helping our financial stability in life. It's not wrong um, to save money for retirement. It's not wrong to save money for children education. It's not wrong for saving money as emergency fund. So if our job goes away, we have something to rely on. But what is wrong is over-endeavoring with things with the greed of getting more and more like that, which you probably covered in the theme in the previous verses in this chapter also, where importance of satisfaction was emphasized by the instructions of Narada Muni. So that is what that over-endeavor is in terms of thinking that more money and more persons will make me happy. Another important thing is to get more prestige and become more famous, creating complicated social norms. Do this, do that, so that I'll be seen as a good person, good husband, good father, good worker, good employee. I don't need to be seen like that. Even I don't need to be seen as a good devotee also. So I don't need to endeavor showing that, oh, I want them to think that I'm a great devotee. We don't need to endeavor for that. That's not required. So that's the prayasa aspect, over endeavor for those things. And then prajalpa aspect. This is very directly related to the Prabhupada's comment of unnecessary necessities. Many of the times we use up our time and energy in unnecessary distractions with addictions like social media, YouTube, Facebook, different kinds of entertainment like that. Of course, devotees use this wonderful social media also for spiritual purposes, like hearing the topics, hearing Krishna Katha, hearing Krishna Kirtan. That helps in their progress in devotion service. Not just seeing different things also. That also we need to maintain focus of what is the topic? What is the topic I want to grow in? What is the weak area I have in bhakti? How do I need to grow? Pick up that topic. Then you listen on that topic instead of going this one, like that. Pick a theme, pick a structure for your listening, and then hear those topics. That way you grow tremendously like that. And then next thing is niyamagraha. This is one of the essential things in the context of this particular verse that is coming up in the next section also, which is rituals, how rituals don't help without devotion like that. Niyamagraha, Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction, it can mean two things broadly. One is following the rules just for the sake of following, not for the purpose of growing devotion. That's not helpful. Second thing is, in the same category, following to be, I want to be seen as pious person. People not only want to be seen as rich person and get prestige like that, but they want to be seen as knowledgeable, so they get prestige. They want to be seen as a pious person. He goes to temple, he does these donations. So I want to see the pious person. Like that also. We don't need to do like that. So that is one aspect of following the rules just for the sake of following, not for spiritual elevation, not for devotional increase like that. One category. Second category is rejecting the rule. Oh, rules are not important. Bhava is important. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Bhava is most important. I don't care about rules. So both of them are rejected by Rupa Goswami. Both of them are not good for our devotion service. Both of them can destroy bhakti. when you remember that word, oh, this destroys bhakti, then we'll pay attention to all these things. Otherwise, we'll think, oh, it's okay. It's just in moderation. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine, like that. At the same time, we all need some amount of material pleasure, some amount of material comforts in the current state of our life currently. We all need to see what is the minimum required for us so that we can practice bhakti peacefully. Because this is a common question that comes. How much is too much? How much is too little? That is decided by you only. Each of us decide how much is too much. And good thing is we need to be alert that now I've grown in bhakti a little bit. So I can, my necessity, can I reduce my necessity now? Like that, we need to evaluate. Then Janasangha, that is association with worldly minded people, people who don't have interest in spiritual life, people who don't know the purpose of life, people who just waste their time and energy in all sorts of things without thinking about purpose of life. And when they're dying, they'll think, oh, why did I use my time like this? I don't know what I did. Oh my God, like that. We don't want to be like that. We need to have a personal mission statement for each of us. And then we need to have goals that align to the mission statement. And then we need to align our weekly calendar that matches with our goals. Not like I'm doing something, whatever they're asking, I'm doing, but I don't do anything that I want to achieve in my life. Not like that. So our goals, our time should be spent and energies to be spent according to the goals we have, according to the mission we have. And we need to reflect on our mission statement every week so that we can refine it as needed. As we grow in bhakti, our mission statement can be refined also. Now going to the next one, laulyam, greed. That you already talked a lot probably. In the last section, there is a very high emphasis on satisfaction by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Basically, by having more and more material greed, then you will create unnecessary necessities basically. Yeah. Going to the next portion. Let me look at that time. Okay. So now in Prabhupada writes in the purport that by trying to be doing material engagements for material welfare, to become material rich like this, we will risk to be born in degraded condition. That's what Prabhupada writes. And he says they create low mentality also, Prabhupada writes in the purport. And Prabhupada quotes a Bhagavatam verse that talks about how if you're influenced by more in mode of goodness, then we go to higher planets. If you're influenced by mode of passion, we stay in the 3rd planet. If you're influenced by mode of ignorance, we go to lower planets like that Prabhupada talks about. And then Prabhupada emphasizes the point that material engagements, what do? They engage us in lower modes. What are the lower modes? Passion and ignorance primarily. So because of the ignorance, engagement in lower modes, passion, ignorance, that is why we go down degraded condition. Prabhupada is talking about. Prabhupada says we may get animal life or we may get some other degraded form, even lower than animals, Prabhupada talks about. So generally people have this understanding, oh, first of all, there's no next life. Some people think. Some people think I can be born in a human life again if is there, next life is there, like that. No, human life is very rare and valuable. So we need to protect it. The wealth that we got of human life, we need to protect it by engaging in pure devotion service. And then Prabhupada writes, purpose of life is to become spiritually rich. So what does it mean? Material rich is not good, we discussed now so far. Spiritually rich means focusing on our main goal of life. That means valuing things that will help in the goal of life, valuing spiritual qualities development, valuing growth in devotion service, valuing association of devotees, valuing in hearing Krishna Katha, valuing in holy name, like that. Those are the ways to become spiritually rich for us. We'll talk about more on that. So then somebody may get to conclusion, oh my God, I should not do office work at all. I should not take care of family at all. I should just do devotional service. I don't need to care about anything else, somebody may think. So Krishna has given us this human body. Along with the human body, he gives so many resources for us in terms of our intelligence, in terms of our abilities, in terms of our skills, in terms of our relationships, in terms of our fame, all the things Krishna has given us. So it's very important to choose a right way to engage our intelligence abilities we have, time and energy we have in the right way. So this is from Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Swami Maharaj in one of the presentations. I like this principle very much, so I thought it will be useful in this context of how to, what is our dharma, how to choose a dharma. In fact, Urmila Mataji wrote a book called Career Dharma, and she has a seminar also on YouTube called Career Dharma. That's also valuable in this context, especially for our children and others. Basically, how do we choose a particular way to engage in life? One is passion. What do you like to do? What I love to do? See that one. And then what am I good at? That also is another important aspect. Because I might be loving to sing kirtan, but I'm not good at kirtan. I might love to do cooking, but I'm not good at cooking. So we need to see what is intersecting between both of them, like that. This can also be seen in terms of pie diagram. I didn't get time to do that. Basically, what I love to do and what I'm good at doing, that is expertise. And then what does society need as service from me? What is suitable in service of Krishna? When I combine these three things, then I will know what I can do, what I would like to do, what I should do. That will have maximum value to society and maximum value to myself also in my practice and devotion service, like that. Because we're meant to contribute to society in a meaningful way while we are here in this planet. And at the same time, cultivate our goal of life, like that. So this is the way of dharma. So how do you figure out what am I good at? How do you figure out what do I like? Sometimes some people have this doubt also. Then there is a formula that he gives, Swami Keshav Maharaj gives nice formula for that also. Basically analyze yourself. See, when do you feel more excited to do something? Analyze those things. Then you know what do you like to do. And then also, when are you getting successful outcomes? What are you producing results with? Then you understand what you're good at doing. All this analysis you can do. And then same thing, you can ask others, you can ask your mentor, you can ask your spiritual master to guide on this thing. And then apart from these two things, sometimes they not give clear answer for us. Then you have to start doing one thing and be ready to switch, be ready to pivot to another thing, like that. So that's another way. Finally, you find to your dharma that is fulfilling and satisfying for us. And we know ultimately what is satisfying for us is if we are engaging anything we are doing with Krishna in our heart, with devotion, then that leads to satisfaction. That's right now in first canto, second chapter itself is discussed that aspect, which is when we do unmotivated and uninterrupted devotion service, then we get pleasure, we get satisfaction more than pleasure. Yeah. So that is the other aspect I want to show. Okay, now we go to the second theme. Prabhupada was talking about how rituals without devotion do not help one in achieving goal of life. In fact, I want to spend some time on this one, which is very important for us as devotees, practicing devotees. Yeah. So this is a very big topic again. I'm summarizing a few things. We can discuss wherever you want to go more also. So generally, ritual word is actually currently has negative connotations in many places, but ritual also has a positive meaning. Positive, it has helpful also, especially when you practice rituals, meaning it can lead to realization also. So we know rituals are common in ordinary day-to-day living. For example, when we meet somebody, we greet them. Let us say we meet another devotee, we'll say Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji, like that. When we meet other friends, hi, how are you doing? Like that, we greet the people like that. So like that, we create a ritual for everything in life, even though we don't know that we have rituals for many things in life. And even practices of bhakti also we have rituals. Even though ritual word has a negative connotation. For example, doing Mangalarti in the morning is a ritual. Every day morning, 4:30 we go before Lord and do Mangalarti, for example. And we do chanting 5 to 7 like that. And then after that, we do Bhagavatam class or Bhagavatam reading study like that. Like that, there can be many rituals. For example, we go before Krishna, we bow down, we circumambulate Krishna, we offer certain prayers to Krishna. There is many rituals. But rituals themselves are not bad, but they should be done with the spirit or the purpose or meaning intact in them, then they become spiritual. So a few devotees were saying our spiritual word is spirit plus ritual. If you add spirit to rituals, then it becomes spiritual, is described. So the spirit is intention, spirit is purpose, spirit is meaning. In fact, the Sadhu Sangha is very helpful for us. One time, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj came to my home like 20 years ago or something. By some causeless mercy, somehow he came and he was sharing with me. While he was going, I was dropping him in the car. While he was going, the only one thing he shared with me, which was surprising for me, is that I was in the starting stage of my bhakti that time. I just started to chant. So he's telling me, you remember one thing, many Indians don't practice religion properly because they don't understand the meaning behind what they're doing and why they're doing. So always understand whatever you're doing in devotional service, why you're doing, how you then only do them. Like that he told me. So that is the important principle sadhus are sharing like that for us. So we need to keep the spirit inside the whatever we're doing. We need to understand the purpose, why. Intention is important like that. So there are a few examples. Many devotees shared these examples. So I thought I'll share a couple of examples. His Grace Adasham Prabhu shared some examples, and then Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj shared one example. In fact, both of them shared this planting tree example together also. So these examples are meant to describe how if the spirit is gone from the ritual, how there's no meaning for it, like that. How it not help in the actual purpose of it, like that. So for example, there's a description of a wedding or a yagna, performance of a sacrifice, where somebody is trying to do I'll go with the marriage, because one devotee talked about marriage, one devotee talked about yagna. So I'll talk about marriage like that. One time a marriage was going on. So mother of the daughter, bride, was busy with doing several things. So she saw a black cat near wherever they were doing everything, fire sacrifice for marriage. So she found a basket next to it. She put a basket, turned the basket and put the cat inside the basket, like that. So covered the cat in the basket like that. And then they continued with marriage. And after the marriage is over, she took out the basket, so cat went away like that. So after several years, another marriage is being done in the same household, it seems. And interestingly, they were about to start the marriage. Somebody says, no, 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 stop, stop, stop. Our family has a tradition. Our family has a ritual. We need to find a black cat and then we need to put under a basket. Then only we can start the marriage. So somebody stopped the whole marriage and they got a cat and they put the basket on top of the cat and they start the marriage. So actual purpose or intention of the lady in the previous marriage, they did not understand. They were just imitating. They are not following. So what is the imitation? What is the purpose of the lady who did that earlier? Purpose was the cat is disturbing everything in the place where they are doing marriage. So she wanted to make sure that cat is not disturbing the activity. For that reason, she put it. Not that you bring a cat to create a disturbance and put a basket like that. So that is the one example devotees give. I heard it from His Grace Radhasham Prabhuji. And then next another example is one landlord, Jamindar, gives instructions to three people. So he tells the three people instructions at three different times without, he's not talking to all three of them at the same time. So that's another lesson we can learn also. So our context is missing. So he tells one person, I will pay you enough money. You need to dig a hole in the ground. And second person he tells you need to fill the soil, fill the sand in the ground, and then soil in the ground. And third person he says you need to plant the tree in the ground like that. So then in the hole like that. Then he says everybody meets Sunday at 9 a.m. So then you can do the work together like that. He tells each of them, you come at 9 a.m., you come at 9 a.m., you come at 9 a.m. Apparently on the day, the guy who's supposed to plant the tree, he didn't show up because he was sick. So now only two guys came. The guy who's supposed to dig the hole, the guy who's supposed to fill the hole, right? So then they did not understand the overall purpose because landlord didn't tell them the whole purpose also.
So what did they do? One guy was digging the hole and putting the sand there, soil that side. Another person who came at the right time, he taking the same soil and putting back inside. So that is what they were doing. Somebody came and asking, what are you guys doing? He's digging the hole and you're putting the sand right away. What is the use? Then he said, yeah, we're doing our duty that is given to us because our duty is very important. We should not deviate from our duty. We're doing our duty nicely like that. But what they're missing is, even the other person is not there to plant the tree, so they should have paused and asked for a clarification from the master what to do next, because it's not solving the purpose. So like that, so there's some rituals. If you don't pay attention to the intention, then it become a ritual like that. Another example, I was surprised to hear this example. I did not know this at all before hearing from Radhesham Prabhu some time ago. He was saying how birthday candle, people blow birthday candles on the cake. How did the ritual start? He gave a very nice explanation, but I'll briefly describe. Oh, not Radhesham Prabhu. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was describing it some time ago. Yeah. So he was telling how uh, apparently they had this superstition that, let us say I become 8 years old, then some 8 ghosts or witches will enter me on birthday. Like that, they had the superstition, it seems. And the way to get rid of them is blowing 8 candles. So that way the 8 witches or 8 ghosts will go away, it seems. Oh my God. But now everybody does it now. Many people does it. Not everybody. Everybody is the wrong word. But many people do it now also. So you see, like the ritual without understanding the purpose and intention behind it. So dangerous also. So now the lesson from that is, we always need to understand the meaning, purpose and intention. Sometimes we may not know always. We can ask somebody else. If they don't know, we can ask somebody else. If they don't know, we can ask somebody else. The right person, especially in devotion service, we ask a right, appropriate guide who can help us. So behind our spiritual practices, we need to understand the ritual. So to give some examples, I was listening to, I heard this from Radhesham Prabhu long time ago, and then also from Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj also. He gives some few nice things, especially about Aarti. Essentially, Aarti, Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was describing what does Aarti mean. Aarti means Rati, Rat. In Hindi, Rat means night, right? Many of you probably know Rat means night in Hindi. So Aarti is darkness, is meant to remove the darkness and create illumination like that. So Aarti is performed to the Lord with several elements we see. Agarbatti, fire lamp, and then water, cloth, and fan, flowers. We do all those things, right? So basically, one of the principle of performing Aarti is we are offering everything that is originated from Lord. Lord gave us all these elements. The body we are in, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So all the things that we see around us are also made of material elements. They're all coming from God only. So we are giving in gratitude. We are offering whatever God has given back to Him only. So like that. So when we are offering like that, the two things happening. One is in gratitude we're offering to Krishna. Second thing is we're cultivating the principle that everything around me belongs to you, my Lord. I will offer to you in your service. I will utilize them in your service like that. That is the consciousness we need to carry when we are doing Aarti like that. Then it's more meaningful and it's helpful for us to grow in our relationship with Krishna and our relationship of service to Krishna and a relationship of gratitude with Krishna like that. And then he was also giving another, Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj also was telling something about how after Aarti, we get the lamp, right? Everybody will take lamp like this, like this. He was asking, was telling why we do that. Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was describing how Aarti or fire lamp represents knowledge, jnana. So we're by taking the fire lamp offering to our forehead like this, we are uh, praying to Krishna that may the knowledge of illumination, may the illumination coming from the knowledge take away the ignorance that I'm in. All the covering of ignorance will go away. Like that we're praying, it seems. We are covered by ignorance currently. We are spirit soul, but we have two coverings. One is the gross covering that we see, body made of earth, water, fire, and ether, air and ether. And then subtle body also made of mind, intelligence, in the false ego. They are also made of material elements only. Though they are subtle. So we are playing like that. And what is the importance of circumambulation? When you go to the temple around the Krishna, we keep Krishna in the center and we circumambulate, right? So the principle is how Krishna is the center of my life. I want to keep that focus. Krishna is the center of my life, like that. Even Aarti, when we're doing circles like that. That's also keeping Krishna in the center, like that. So that's a memory, that's a reminder for us to keep Krishna in center always, like that. And let me see, is it time? Okay, it's 16 already. Yeah. So we'll focus, I'll cover a few things. Essentially, when we're bowing down, for example, when we go to temple, we need to bow down with a consciousness. Why am I bowing down? For example, when we go into the temple room, immediately, first of all, we knock the door. Why do we knock the door? We're announcing to Krishna that I'm not barging into your space. I want to seek your permission to get in. So we knock and go inside. And then as soon as we go in, we offer respect to all the Vaishnavas. We're not offering respect to Krishna directly. First, we are offering respect to all the Vaishnavas as soon as we enter. With Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Krupa Sindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Whenever we chanting these mantras also, we meditate on the meaning of the mantra. Then it goes into heart. And then we're doing it with intention properly, like that. Then we pay obeisances. Now, when we go into temple room, there may be nobody. But then who are we offering obeisances to? Somebody may get the doubt. Prabhupada said, demigods are always there. So many living entities are always there in the temple. And even right now, there may be so many living entities I cannot see. So we're offering obeisances like that. So like that, to Vaishnavas, we offer obeisances. Like that, when we go before the Lord, we're meditating properly. We're offering obeisances, meditating that I'm surrendering to Krishna. And in fact, I don't know how many of you read the book, Vaishnava Etiquette book, that is published by Chaupati Temple and also Bhaktivedanta Manor. And Bhakti Charar Maharaj was expert in Vaishnava Etiquette. He has a website also. I think it's called vaishnavaetiquette.com or something like that. So it also describes something interesting. When we are paying obeisances before Krishna, we're meditating that Krishna's feet is on our head. I was surprised to see that. For so long time, I did not know what are we supposed to meditate, what are we supposed to chant when we're paying obeisances like that. We need to learn that and then practice it consciously. And then we talked about meaning of prayers. Oh yeah. For example, when we are praying Tulsi prayers every day, we're requesting Tulsi Devi, please give me bhakti. Please give me service in the residence of Raja. Please give me opportunity to see Krishna's leelas. Please give me opportunity to serve as a servant of one of the gopis. Like that we're praying. So if we're meditating on that meaning, then we can be situated in the servant of Krishna mood always. So that's another important thing like that. And even when chanting, why are we chanting? I'm chanting to please Krishna. I'm chanting to develop my service attitude to Krishna. When we keep that focus, we can chant nicely. Same thing, why are we hearing? I want to develop appreciation to Bhakti. I want to develop appreciation to Krishna. I want to develop appreciation to Vaishnavas. I want to learn what pleases Krishna. I want to learn how to practice Bhakti properly. I want to learn how to help my family to practice Bhakti properly. I want to learn how to help Krishna by helping others to go towards him. With that mood, we are hearing nicely. Like that, the intention is very important. So now I go to the another important principle in Bhakti. So remember, the overall theme of this verse was how without devotion, any rituals do not get us to goal of life. Yeah. So now going to the heart of Bhakti. What is the heart of Bhakti? Heart of Bhakti is, most of you know this verse. This is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is considered as a uh, key verse for the whole scripture, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Somebody would like to recite this verse?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
O अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्माद्यनावृतम् आनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
Wonderful, Parampamati. Yeah. So this is the verse. It is called a Paribhasha Sutra. This is the main essence of the whole scripture, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is our Srila Prabhupada kindly translated as an act of devotion. So, so basically, what is the heart of bhakti? That is very, very important. Then we focus on the heart. The focus on bhakti, or my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Rompasa Maharaj calls it as bhakti principle. What is the bhakti principle? Is to please Krishna, anukulyana, intent to please Krishna. That is the main thing. So even if you don't remember anything, we should always remember, is it pleasing to Krishna? Is it not pleasing to Krishna? When we consider that in anything, any decisions we are making, then we'll make the right decision. Every moment is a decision for us to do something, to not to do something like that. So, but pleasing Krishna, who is the object of our service? Krishna is the object of service, not me. I'm not chanting so that I can be peaceful. I'm not chanting so that I'll be happy. I'm not serving so that I'll be praised. I'm not serving so that I'll get happiness. I'm not serving so that way everybody will see, oh, Sundarananda is a very good devotee. That is not the object of my service. My object of service, Krishna is placed. That is the aspect being showed here. And then Anushilanam. Anushilanam means practicing the 9 process of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. All these 9 processes of bhakti. Hearing, starting with Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting and remembering, Smaranam. Like that, as given by the guidance of our Guru and previous Acharyas. So that is the way we practice bhakti. And then these two I wanted to highlight also. So this is, one is that here, that Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. That means we understand bhakti is the absolute process. I don't need to do some of this. I don't need to do some of this. I don't need to do some of this. I don't need to do fast on Monday for this devata. I don't need to fast Thursday for this devata. I don't need to fast for Saturday for this devata. I just focus on bhakti. I'll get all the benefits I need to get with karma yoga or jnana yoga. Doesn't matter. Everything I'm supposed to get, I'll get benefit from this also. Not only that, I'll get the ultimate benefit of association of Supreme Lord Krishna, and with eternal, ever-growing pleasure all the time, happy all the time. Not just happy for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years. I'll get eternal happiness and ever-growing happiness, like that. So that trust in bhakti as a process is important, like that for us. Next is choosing Krishna bhakti as a supreme goal. That means that is my goal is to be situated in pure devotion service of Krishna. Not get some fame, not get some good health, not get some good name, not get some more money, not get stable job. That's not my main goal. My main goal is to engage in pure bhakti towards Krishna, like that. So that's why Anya Abhilash. Abhilash means desires, no other desires than Krishna bhakti, like that. So this is the heart of bhakti. Yeah. We can discuss any of these things during the discussion time. I'm covering the foundational aspects, so you have time to discuss also. Yeah. So I want to cover a few more things. This is from Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj. He was giving a nice lecture in New Jersey Temple, Central New Jersey Temple. He was talking about how he was elaborating on Bhagavata fourth chapter, second verse, where Krishna talks about how the knowledge parampara was lost, yoga nashta word is used, how knowledge is lost, like that he describes. In that context, he's explaining how we need to learn from scriptures and understand properly why we're doing what we're doing, what we need to do, like that, and then apply that knowledge in our life, like that. So how do you know what are the different signs of being knowledgeable? So Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj describes in this context. Yeah. Of course, this can be described in many different ways. This is one angle Prabhu Maharaj chose to describe. Sense of being knowledgeable is 3 things he describes. First is by being eager to serve Krishna with gratitude. Somebody will say, I know Krishna, I know Rama. So what are we doing after knowing that who is Krishna? We're meant to engage in devotion service. That is the highlight he was describing with this verse, for example. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So once we know Krishna is the source, we all came from Krishna, everything came from Krishna, then what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to engage in devotional service with all our hearts. So that is a test for knowledge. Not that I know Krishna. I heard knowledge about Krishna from my grandmother from childhood. Nothing new for me. What is the new thing you are telling me, Prabhuji? Nothing like that. So then what are you doing? Do practice bhakti like that. That is the idea. Second thing he describes about how we have sign of knowledge is that we reserve the time for chanting the holy name. Oh, I know chanting. My grandmother used to chant the holy name every day. In fact, we used to go to Janmashtami and temple, and we used to chant every day on Janmashtami day. Then that's not the one. We reserve the time every day to chant fixed number of rounds for the pleasure of Krishna, for growing in bhakti. Why do you want to grow in bhakti? So that we can be in pure bhakti for Krishna. Again, so Prabhu was quoting this verse to utilize this Medasaha, Sumedasaha, one who is intelligent, one who is wise. What do they do? Intelligent persons do congregational chanting to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna in this age like that. So that's the word he was using to explain this principle for us. Yeah. So first one was eager. We are engaging in service to Krishna eagerly with gratitude. Second one was we reserve the time for chanting the holy name of the Lord. And third one, the last one he describes, is surrender. We surrender to Krishna. Once we know Krishna, what do? We surrender to him. He uses this word, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Gnanavan. One is knowledge. Yeah, that is the word he is focusing on. Mam Prabhajate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatma Sudurlabaha. So one who knows that this human birth is very, very rare and very, very valuable. And we have a relationship with Krishna. What do? We surrender to Krishna. So one way of how surrender manifests in our life is very, very important principle in our life. We can discuss more if needed. Basically, many times we're worried about what happened in the past, worried about what is going to happen in the future. Instead of that, stay in the present and don't worry about what I don't have. Just appreciate what I already have, appreciate the current situation I'm in, and whatever in current situation. Oh, Chaitanya Prabhu describes this very simple way. Bhakti is doing what you can with what you have right now. I think he doesn't use the word right, but now. That means doing what we can do with what I have, not with what I don't have. Whatever I have, do it with that. And then right now, not in the future, not tomorrow, not next week, not January 1st, 2026, because New Year is a good day to start. Not like that. Right now, we can do, and with whatever I have, and with whatever I can do. Yeah. Then when are we able to do that? When we're accepting that everything is Krishna's plan, everything Krishna has arranged somehow in my life. It will somehow Krishna will do whatever is needed in my life so that I can grow in bhakti. When we have this understanding, then we can happily engage in Krishna consciousness nicely in our bhakti like that. So, I think it's sorry, as the previous slide, I was using another presentation to make a copy as a template because I'm not good at PowerPoint presentations. I'm using a template to make the presentation. So I thought the visual will help some devotees because I'm going in different directions to have context and to have structure for you all. That's why I made presentation. So just to summarize, we learned how we need to be careful not to get sucked into getting materially rich in this way, that way, like that. Then we lose the purpose of life, goal of life. Number one principle we talked about. Number two principle we talked about was how we don't do things, even our devotional service don't do ritually, mechanically. Do it with understanding of the meaning, understanding of the purpose for the pleasure of Krishna. Do that. We'll do that. Then that really makes it spiritual, we heard about. And we talked about the heart of bhakti, which is to please Krishna. That's what we understood also. Like that. And we discussed about dharma is doing what I like to do, doing what I'm good at, and then doing what is service for society. That is the dharma we discussed. And then finally we discussed how we need to learn from scriptures, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra uh, about how to practice bhakti and then apply in our life. And then application is the key focus. And then how do you know we're knowledgeable? We talked about three things. We're eager to serve Krishna. And then we also, what are the other two things I mentioned? Let me briefly pull up that one.
Reserve some time for chanting and surrender to Krishna.
Wonderful. You have great memory, Param Bhavani Mataji. Wonderful. So how do you get out of the screen? Sorry, my screen is not coming out. Okay, good. Yeah. So eager to serve Krishna, reserve time for chanting Krishna, Krishna's holy name, and surrender to Krishna. How one of the ways to surrender to Krishna is accepting our current situation and engaging in favorable things and rejecting unfavorable things in bhakti. Yeah. So these are a few things I want to share. It's already 8:30. Yeah. I wanted to reserve some time for all of you to share your realizations. And if I spoke something incorrect, I know many of you are regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, regularly studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Please feel free to correct me. So I'll also learn and practice properly. Yeah. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, dear Prabhuji. As always, your classes are so like very easy to understand, very structured, and I personally like it's very easy for me to understand the way you teach every point wise, so that I can grasp it nicely, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, feel free to raise your hand. We see, Hare Krishna, dear Priti Vilasini Mataji. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class. As Parampavani Mataji said, you're a very good teacher. It makes it so easy for us to grasp what you're telling because of your structured presentation. So thank you so much. I understood the 2 points that you were trying to drive today, and for me, take-home messages, I liked a few highlighted points that I would like to repeat. One point that I really liked is that nectar of devotion, beautiful heart model that you put up, and how you said that your Guru Maharaj said that the main principle is whatever you're doing, you're doing it for Krishna. It's not about me, because 90% of the times when we are doing bhakti, we get carried away with the idea that this is for me. So I am so grateful that you brought out that point. That is my real take-home message for the day. Besides that, I also like many other points you covered about my grandmother said Krishna is the Supreme Lord. My grandmother said you should chant. My grandmother said you should surrender. But are we really doing it? We act like we know. Yes, I know. You don't have to tell me. I know this. But then when are we going to apply? So I like that too. And also about how Bhakti Vikas Maharaj asked you, do you even... we Indians, do we really know why we are doing bhakti? Why are we wanting to do this? We should know and do it. So actually, our Shraddha should be definitely, to a great extent, be rooted in Shastra. I really like that point so much, because without that, there is no foundation. So thank you so much. Beautiful, excellent presentation with lovely analogies of how Srila Prabhupada has given us the way of learning is through analogies and stories. So thank you so much for bringing out all these different analogies and stories. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Parambhavani Shama Mataji, thank you for the opportunity. Hare Krishna Sundarananda Prabhu, thank you so much for such a beautiful class. Very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining us what is a want and what is a need. And as you said, like everybody has a different understanding of their own wants and own needs. But one thing I understood from the class is right now, which I am thinking it is my really a want. Or a need, but when I progress in my Krishna consciousness, these wants and needs list will be going on down and down. So that way I can understand that how I'm progressing in my Krishna consciousness. So that's really really a very interesting point, Prabhuji. And as you said, where is my endeavor of acquiring money is a end point, or how I know that I'm over acquiring money or over running behind money. That understands only to every individual has a different situation for that. Maybe some other person is telling, oh, this is too much for you, but maybe that that person does not know exactly what my situation is, I should only understand whether that is needed for me or not needed. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That understanding is very much clear now, that we should be able to understand by reading Srila Prabhupada's purport that whether I need that or whether I don't need that. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And one more interesting point is like about rituals you were talking. How these rituals of cat ritual, that I have first time heard it from Guru Maharaj lecture. There is another story also Guru Maharaj explains there about a goat. Somebody puts a goat when the marriage is happening just outside of the marriage area, and then that becomes a ritual for the next in the same family. For the next generation, they start doing the same thing. They put a goat over there. And even this cat example Guru Maharaj was giving, so we are doing without understanding anything. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening us so much nicely. Even that example of Harati, how we are taking Harati after once it is given to the Lord, when it comes to us, why we are even taking it to our forehead, because to enlighten us, we are praying to Lord to enlighten spiritual knowledge within us. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for every small things that you have shared. Very, very grateful to you. And also the beginning you have given us the introduction of where we are, why we are into this context now, why we are learning about rituals. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for refreshing again the very valuable points. The devotees, feel free to raise your hands if you have any question. You can. Prabhuji, in the meantime, I have a question. Can I ask? Prabhuji, as you mentioned that His Holiness Keshava Swami Maharaj was sharing the points of Dharma, that we need to analyze what is our passion, then we need to ask ourselves that our skill, where our expertise is, and then we need to attempt, that is the service that the society needs from us, and or we feel satisfaction for that. So, Prabhuji, what if the passion changes in the course of time? Then I put my 90% energy to one path, and like, this is practical, you know. I had that passion to do, become a great scientist, and now my passion changed. I no more find happiness there, and I'm doing it just to pay my rent and to survive. So how to deal with the situation? Now switching at the like suggestion you gave me long back, that sometimes switching things, but it is sometimes hard. Then what else we can do?
Yeah, very nice practical question. Thank you for the question. So generally, what I was describing is somebody is starting fresh, like you understood. Somebody is starting fresh. Look at that aspects ideally. That will help a lot. Because I may be doing, for example, I love my office work so much. I love Krishna consciousness. I love my office work so much. So because I love it, I produce the best work also. So in my thought process at least. So like that, if you love your job, then it's not a burden for you. It's not boring for you. Nothing like that. Like that, because you're spending 8 hours for office every day, like that, right? That is the main idea behind it. And then, so for example, in my the two main principles I tell you, unless our occupation is directly violating one of the 4 regulative principles, then it is still okay to continue in our current occupation. Number one, that's one principle. Then let us say somebody is still directly violating, for example, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to resign right now? No. They're supposed to understand this is not good for my devotional service. So then they make a gradual transition to the something that doesn't violate the direct 4 regular principles. That is one extreme situation. That's one thing. Now, rest of us may not be directly violating regular principles, but it's not aligning with the passion that we have, like you described. You might have expertise, but it's not aligning with your passion currently. So what are we supposed to do? We have, it's a decision-making process. We have two thought process to look at. Am I willing to make a switch with in the coming years, let us say 10 years from now? Am I willing to take a switch to something that is more meaningful for me? That is more something that I love to do, like that. That's a question we need to ask ourselves. If yes, we need to progress towards that gradually. So that way we can develop the right skills for that. For example, I may love to do something, but I may not be good at doing something. So I need to find that also. And then do it. That is another option. A third option is, let us say I don't have so much time. For example, in my case, in 5 years, I wish to take Vanaprastha, for example. Then I don't have so much time to switch a job and try out something else. I just let this go for some time and then take something else, Vanaprastha, like that, right? So if that is the case, then what we do is whatever we are doing, how do we do it nicely so that it's a service to Krishna? That we discussed in the class also, a few different aspects. That my quality of my work, or my interactions with others, and those will all help to or giving some prasadam or whatever we can do based on a situation. Then that is still helping in Krishna consciousness, like that. And we should not be, while we are doing all this, we should not be dissatisfied with our work. We should be happy. Remember, one of the part of surrender I described is the accepting current situation. To accept your current situation, Krishna has given me the situation. For example, some people might have a situation where they need to develop a lot of tolerance, a lot of patience, a lot of compassion. So otherwise, I would not develop those things if everything is going nicely in my life. But if something is troubling, then only I'll develop those things. So like that, we see as Krishna's mercy, even the situations in our life like that. And then we do what we can. Make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. So three things you mentioned. That one, we can continue unless it's directly violating the four regulatory principle. If it is, then we can gradually transform our work at the stage where it is not violating. Another thing is, if I am willing to switch in a later time, then right now we don't haste to switch because it will stress ourselves. We can plan and gradually transform the switch, like transform toward the switch. And third thing, if we don't have time for that to make that switch, or don't have the situation to make that switch, then we try to be satisfied with the current situation that Krishna has planted us to that situation, and to be satisfied as to perform Krishna's, aligned with Krishna's plan. Thank you.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Dear devotees, Sudhakar Prabhuji, can you please go ahead?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, actually, there are so many things which have to be learned from today's session, but at least I thought to share some my knowledge or realization about the today's topic. Like what you mentioned is, or in the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned, one should not run for the material possessions, rather than one should run for the spiritual possession. In short, this is what I understood the essence of the purport, and of course you briefly explained how about the rituals material. Yeah, it just when you were talking, and you told 3 tips which I recently had from other spiritual masters also. Like after the session, one should really think what is the key takeaway. That's one thing, and then contemplating on that one. Yeah, it's just not taking that notes of that key takeaway. At least there are 10 key takeaway items, so at least if we contemplate on 2 or 3, I think that will be the good thing you also said. And then of course the implementation and application. I like those. You reminded me today again with your lectures. I really thank for that. Only on the material position, I just remember that, Hari, if you are really in the God's realization path, Lord Krishna will take away all those material positions. So in a way, what I mean to say is, if you think that if you really want or wish to have the spiritual progress, Krishna will never let you to go materially, prosper. This is what I understood, or in a way, in another way, because if he likes the devotees, he likes his devotees, so he makes sure that his devotees don't get entangled into this kind of material wealth. So I was indirectly said that if you really pray God with a true intention, and he will make sure that you don't get entangled into those kind of thoughts or those kind of movements. This is what I thought I want to share. I may be wrong, but sorry. As I said, I'm just a learning person. I thought to share my thoughts along with other devotees and to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhakar Prabhuji, for sharing. Actually, that is the value of Srimad Bhagavatam discussion together with the devotees. So we each of us share our understanding and our realization that helps nurture others' understanding also. And we recollect that point. Oh, I didn't remember that point. Yeah, that time I remembered, but not I didn't remember like that. So when devotees share like that, it really helps. So that's one thing. And then your last point, last realization you shared, how Krishna will help us not to get entangled. That's also a wonderful point. Only thing is in the language when you shared, I wanted to slightly share something. So Krishna doesn't always necessarily take away material things for us. So sometimes he might give material things, so like we know from fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Durmara's pastime, right? You give big kingdom, Vaikuntha Loka like that, right? Dhruva like that. He might give also. But the last point you mentioned, which is the essence, which is I will not get entangled, even though I may have a lot of money, but I will not get entangled. Even though I'm a CEO of a company, I will not get entangled. That is the key principle you shared. Nice, Prabhu.
Like Ambrish Maharaj, though he is wealthy, and
Yes.
even Prahlad Maharaj, I heard that actually he did not request all these things, but God has given him this instruction. Yes, you need to rule this many years like that. That's what I heard it. I'm not sure. So maybe you're right. Actually, regarding the rituals, I want to share my ignorance. Actually, when I'm in childhood, when we used to put, my father used to perform the pujas for all this thing. We used to call one Brahmin priest to perform the pujas. With him, and I see this at the time I was not knowing anything. Understand what this guy is saying so loud with so rhythm, and every time he asked put some money here and put this rice here, put this thing here, bring this coconut here. I was thinking why this guy is taking all these things like that. But at that time I don't know to tell you honestly. So now I would not say I am not fully realized, but I am slowly trying to understand uh, the rhythm of the mantra, what is its impact on the surroundings and to our mind, and the intention, and why we should respect to the Brahmana. My father used to give the money. I used to say, why you are giving money to this guy? He just came for half an hour. Why you're giving so much money? You're not giving me money. I used to feel that like that time. But now I realize that yeah, each and every ritual, as you said, if you really understand the ritual process, there is a lot of into it. I used to do mechanically the prayer. I don't know much about the meaning of this basic prayer still today. I was trying to learn it, and maybe with like divine groups like Bhakti Janasangha and other ISKCON group, and slowly getting educated with all your knowledge. So ritualistic, yeah, I this is a lesson learned for me, at least for me. I'm not sure about other devotees. Forgive me if I make something wrong, but I know I made aparat, knowingly or unknowingly, for which I'm facing it. This is what I consider. That's it. Thank you so much for this wonderful lecture.
Yeah, thank you,
Hare
Sudhakar.
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhakar. Hare Krishna. Yeah, for the last point you mentioned about prayers, yeah, it's good to learn one prayer at a time. So let us say I'll take for now. My next goal is to learn the Mangalarti prayers. What does it mean? Or after that, next goal is Vanchakalpa prayer. What does it mean? I need to learn. What does it mean? Tulsi prayer. Like that, we can go one by one, and slowly you can learn. Krishna will help you also.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Sudhakar Prabhuji, for sharing your thoughts. And thank you so much, Prabhuji, for all your responses. We see Sundarangi Radha Mataji is sharing the thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. I'm really grateful to you. Hare Krishna. And okay, and so dear devotees, if we don't have any more question, we can. Hemangi Gopeshwari Mataji is also praising you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful blessing.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing. Today is Ekadasi. Actually, I didn't mean what I meant to say, but I'm just trying to seek the blessings of all of you, because I don't know anything much about rituals and the spirituality. Sorry if I have expressed a little bit more. I just wish the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and the Prabhu. Thank you.
Of course, dear Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, we can offer our obeisances to our dear Sundarananda Prabhuji.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
Sundarananda Prabhuji ki jai.
जय
Hari Bol.
गौरंगा
Nityananda, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Nityananda.